Hi everyone, this is Alan Rosinski of Metro Manhattan Office Space. Well, there's a news story in the world of commercial real estate in New York City. There was a new development project which was planned called Industry City. Industry City is in the northern part, or just north of Bushwick. It's actually in the Sunset Park area. The existing complex has 16 buildings. It's on 35 acres. There's almost 6 million square feet of industrial and warehouse space. Now, the developer had requested this area be rezoned so they could build more retail, office, and other space in a very, very controlled manner. And the community opposed this, and finally, in the last few days, the developer, which is a firm by the name of Jamestown, withdrew their plan to redevelop this property. Now, Jamestown is a developer of Chelsea Piers in Manhattan. So this is a bit of a curveball. This certainly would have provided a lot of employment. It was projected that this development could provide up to 20,000 jobs and up to $100 million a year in tax revenue. And it could have been a good thing for Sunset Park in certain respects. But there were individuals, politicians, community organizers who opposed this project for a variety of reasons. Now, Bushwick Terminal was built between 1892 and 1925. And it was at a certain point one of the largest industrial properties in the United States. The U.S. Navy used it during World War I, and at the time it was state-of-the-art shipping and industrial and warehouse space. Now what happened is, starting during the Great Depression, the area has gone into decline, but there have been a variety of plans to redevelop Industry City, starting I think in the 80s and 90s. But the most ambitious up to now was the current plan by Jamestown. The Industry City redevelopment plan was controversial. The advocates would say that it would create up to 20,000 jobs, and that a lot of those jobs would help Sunset Park, which is an immigrant and working class community. And in fact, the developers had a vocational training facility on the premises of Industry City to train local residents and place them in jobs in the new development. Another major benefit would have been increased tax revenue for the city of New York. And I mean, $100 million a year isn't nothing, and the city's suffering from great deficits at the moment. The situation's kind of dire. You see the MTA is in a terrible situation with the threat of certain subway lines being canceled in the next few months. The opponents of the plan took the position that it would increase housing costs and that residents of Sunset Park would be forced out. And in any event, these working class residents would not be eligible for many of these jobs because it just wouldn't have the training, or even with the training, it would be difficult for them. Now, this project for the moment appears to be dead. What may happen is the developer will continue with alternative plans to put up office space and last mile distribution centers, which will not produce as much employment. And personally, I think this is a loss for Sunset Park. I mean, you can't stop progress. Old line manufacturing jobs are not coming back to Sunset Park. This reminds me of what happened with Amazon in 2019 in Long Island City. Amazon would have brought employment and tax revenue to their redevelopment project in Long Island City, but due to local opposition, they withdrew, and this is something similar. I find this to be potentially hazardous and a bad sign for New York City. We don't want to go the way of Detroit. You want New York City to be a top economic center with cutting-edge industries, good jobs, and of course tax revenue to support basic services, social services, the transportation network. Now, if this had been approved, you could have had a vibrant community in Sunset Park with new job opportunities, and it would have benefited everybody. It would have benefited the local community, and it would have benefited the city of New York. If there was an issue with housing affordability, the subsidies could have been negotiated. Affordable housing could have been built also in the area, but now progress has been stopped. If you found this content interesting or helpful, I would be happy if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Metro Manhattan. Until the next time.